Hi, this is Tanya from Love Buddha Tarot, back with the cards for the week, beginning the 26th until the 2nd of October. Right, okay, we finally got September out of the way. Thank goodness. It's honestly, what a month it's been. But we still have 1 week left, and be prepared. I don't think it's going to be easy. This is going to be an accumulation of what you have learned in this month, and I really feel that there's going to be tests to see, right, okay, are you tests to see your staying power. I think that's what it is. Yeah, your staying power. So what I've done today is I've used the Thoth deck. I don't usually use these cards, but I was drawn to use them today for some reason. They're very different to normal tarot, but they're quite interesting. I really find they're quite interesting. So the first one that we have, so this is for Monday. Okay, so this is Monday the 26th. And what we have here is the Five of Discs. Now, don't know if you can see that. It's quite a dark card when I'm looking at that. I'm not really liking the energy of this at all. And when I first looked at this, the first thing I'm getting is like feeling like being pulled in all directions here, and there's no movement, and it's sort of like an upside down pentagram here as well. But because it's being pulled in all directions, this is sort of like, there seems to be a lot of restriction around this. So I really feel Monday is going to be like, it's just going to be like, God, everybody is wanting a piece of me, and everybody's pulling in a different direction, and this is just, it's stopping you from going anywhere. It's sort of like what I'm getting in here, it's like if somebody's trying to go away and somebody's like sort of pulling them back in some way. But like I say, in all different directions. So there seems to be a lot of interference coming in when this card comes in. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but these like sort of yellow rays that are coming in there, to me, they look like guns, like guns at the ready, like when in the Foreign Legion, that when people had to stand up and, be shot sort of thing. So, obviously if you're standing and you've got all of these guns like sort of pointing at you, there's going to be a little bit of worry. And this is what the word is on this card. But the worry I feel that is coming with this seems to be coming from more of a place of instability and fear about what could happen rather than actual facts. It's like sort of, you hearing all these different versions and different, people could even be telling you, you don't do this because that'll happen, don't do that because that'll happen, and whenever we don't do anything because of the fear of what could happen, this is sort of, it keeps us restricted. So this is what this card is talking about. There's also, with it being the Five of Discs, there's a feeling here about material possessions as well, and focusing on maybe what you could lose, in some way. Now, if we remember within the tarot, the Five of Coins or the Five of Pentacles, there's sort of this broken guy walking along desolate in the road, but there's a church behind him that he's not even seeing, and that church is his sanctuary. So, like, although this card seems to have a bit of a sense of doom around it, what we've got to remember is that the fives are all about change. We're in the middle ground, and change is never easy. There's always, it's sort of, all right, okay, do we go back, to the stability of the fours, or do we move on to the sixes, which will then move us on? I mean, our journey is to move on from the aces to the tens. So, this is what this is about, and I really feel it's this change and, a lot of opposition that is sort of leaving you feeling a little bit empty at the moment and that, but what I can say with this is you can move through this, but it's going to take some effort from you as well, so rather than just sitting and looking and listening and, all right, yeah, well, I'm not going to bother doing that or whatever, I'm not going to go for that, this could be a job, this could be anything, going for your dream in some way, and, if you listen to like they're saying they're like the naysayers, then you will never do it. I mean, I always say it's like whether we think we can or whether we think we can't, we're right. So it's up to us to really keep our belief during this time. And a great thing to think with this, especially when you're moving on, is your addiction to your past stronger than your vision for your future? So this is what you need, because a lot of times, like I say, the past, we know it. We know the past. We know what happens there. We may not be happy in that, but then it's like, oh, okay, but if I want to move on, then this sort of, I don't know, then I'm not sure of what is there. So is it sort of sticking with what you know or going after what you want? That, there's, none of us know what the future brings, but unless you actually have a vision for the future and unless you go after that, then you will stay stuck in this darkness. So what this card is saying is the balance really needs to be brought in here. And I know it's like, yeah, you're feeling like you're getting it from all angles at the moment, but you can free yourself from this rut. And this is what this is, because I say it time and time again, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And when you are stuck, then nothing is moving. Nothing is going to change if you are stuck. You have to actually, sort of get out. And sometimes it's a struggle, if I'm just getting there an image of somebody in quicksand, and yeah, it's hard. But if they stay in that quicksand, they're going to sink, What's that Bob Dylan song? You better start swimming or you're going to sink like a stone, And that's what happens here. If you stay there, that, you're going to end up sinking, or staying within this darkness. So what this card is saying is, like, rather than looking at what you may feel or be told that you're losing, look at what you could stand to gain as well. So this is a card of, it's more in the head. This is more in the head. I think the worry, the projections and everything. It's not that nice a card. And like I said, this is going to be a tough week. So this is where you're getting tested. So the second card that we have, which is great coming after that one, this is for Tuesday, and this is the Nine of Swords here. And this is talking about strength from within, how you having the resilience and having determination as well. That is, I think that is a great word to sum up this card, determination. So it's like not giving up in the face of adversity. So it's, my old granddad, who sadly passed away a couple of months ago. I remember him sitting once when I was a kid, and he was telling me the story of Robert the Bruce. And he was, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. If you want something, then you try for it, and that's always rang true with me, and there's many times within my life I've had to think of that and think, right, okay, right, I've got to do what my granddad done, so this card is saying as well that, there may be a need to defend yourself, and I really feel that is coming after this card, because like I say, this is sort of defending yourself against what is in the first card. So I feel the defense in this, though, is in order to protect yourself as well, because like I say, there's a lot of determination coming in with this card, but there's also there's sort of a spiritual truth, and your realization of that. And a lot of times when we discover this truth or something like that, we don't have to fight, but a lot of people will try and pick at that and sort of, pick at our newfound reality, if that makes sense. Now, within this card, we have the sun here and we have the moon there as well. And rather than them being in a battle, what I see this as is that there is now light. I mean, if we have a look, that light seems very strong. There is now light being shone into the darkness. And in the darkness, this is, if we remember in the tarot, the moon is all about our fears and sort of being in the dark and not knowing what's coming next. So this is sort of shining a light in the darkness here, and this is the sun, this is sort of the universe working together. And what I find interesting with this card as well is if we look at the arrows that are being fired, at this strength card, this strength rod, the arrows are blunt, okay? So it's sort of like, if you're standing in your truth, I'm seeing this as like having an armor of truth around you, okay? So if you are standing in your truth and things are getting fired at you, you know, it's sort of like, if they're blunt here, they're not even going to penetrate, you know, they might as well be, you know, sponges on the end of them, you know, so it's like, it's, you know, that they're not going to penetrate you, and that is because you have this protection around you. So when you're standing in your truth and in your own beliefs, then it's like, nothing can sway you there, you know. Everybody has an opinion, but when you know and when you feel your truth, and if we have a look at that, that looks pretty rigid, that rod there, you know. So that is, you know, that looks stronger than all of them, really. And like I say, even the blows that they're firing seem to be missing. You know, none of them seem to have actually hit that. So like I say, with this, it's like, you know, I really feel that the light that we're talking about here as well, when I mentioned the light and dark, it's like there has been light shined into your, shone into your own darkness, you know, and this is what has given you the strength and the determination to stand up for yourself at this time, you know. So there's a sort of, with this card, I will do what I want, and that is not in a arsey way or anything like that. That is in just a way where it's like, no, I know my own truth, and you know, nothing can sway that. So there's a great inner strength coming here, and I feel that is that Monday, Tuesday, yeah, so that's Tuesday. So Tuesday's a Saturday of strength there, you know. Then we come to Wednesday, and Wednesday, what we have here is we have the Two of Swords. Now, the word that is under with this, which Crowley done in these cards, is peace. Which is quite interesting, because the Two of Swords within tarot is blocking everything off, not wanting to see things. But this is a little bit different here, you know, and if we can see, there's two swords penetrating through the lotus flower here. So this is always like, I sort of see this as like there's conflict, there's choice, there's change, and there's completion. So we have a lot of C's in this. So, you know, it's like you having to fight for your peace, if that makes sense. And there's two swords being crossed here, you know. It's not like the swords are being put down, it's like they are crossing. But when you actually fight for something like that, then you don't actually gain anything, you know. What you need to do is you need to come from the heart, and you need to come from your emotional center as well. And as I've said before, you know, the first rule of war is do not engage, you know. That is that is the best. I mean, I always say somebody can only have a fight if you're prepared to fight with them, you know. So this is what this is saying, like, please, you know, your peace of mind is not worth it. It's not worth giving up for. So when we are caught up in like ego battles, which is what happens, you know, when anytime we engage in a fight, you know, all we're doing is we're just firing words, you know, and we're trying to win in some way. And this isn't about winning, you know. It's not about right and wrong. This is about, right, okay, this is my truth. And when we start just firing words back and having snipey little sort of trying to win a point, if that makes sense, you know, that isn't getting us anywhere. You know, all it does is get our backs up as well. So this card, I feel with this, it's sort of like a warning to like take the diplomatic approach here. You know, like some people will never see things our way, but as long as we are diplomatic, as long as we are clear when we explain ourselves, you know, then we know that we have done our bit. Somebody can shout and scream and do whatever, you know, but if we are not going to engage, then, you know, they will eventually just wear themselves out by doing this. So this card is saying, like, you know, it's not a comfortable, like, peace, this, but in order for the peace to be restored, your peace, your inner peace to be restored, you know, this battle and this struggle needs to stop. And, you know, this is basically for the peace of mind of all parties, really. And it's a bit like a sort of ceasefire, you know, or like a stalemate, you know. You may not agree ever, really, but you agree that this cannot go on like this, you know. So it's like I say, it's not that nice a card, and please don't think that if you're not engaging that you are losing in any way, because that is an ego-based thought. You know, when you are standing in your truth, you know, it doesn't matter. I had a situation the other day with a workman that I had, who I had to sort of fire because of the work wasn't right, and I expressed my concerns, and I said it nicely, and I got this email back which was full of absolute jargon. Everything was totally wrong, very, very full of ego. Now I could have, everything that was said, I could have straight away got back and said, no, this isn't right, and I could have shot that down very, very easily because I had all the evidence. But I just thought, what is the point? You know, what is the point? It's never going to get through to him. You know, he's straight away got his back up. He's full of ego. You know, I paid him for the work he'd done, and that was it. You know, forgot about it. I wasn't getting into a stupid little slagging match, you know, for nothing. So this is what this card is saying. You know, it's, yes, you can retaliate. And you might be able to win this argument or win this fight, but is that really worth it? You know, what is that? It's going to be a hollow victory, if anything. You know, so that is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I feel that's sort of the energies for Wednesday. So as we can see, like I've said, you know, it's going to be a tough week. There's a bit of a roller coaster going again. But then we get to Thursday, and what we have here is the Fool, you know, and we all know, we all love the Fool. But the Fool is very different within this deck. And if we have a look, the Fool is sort of, he's bright green. So this is the Fool in this is very, very heart-centered. You know, everything is running on his heart. If we have a look at his face, I don't know if you can see that, but he's very wide-eyed as well. And this means that he's staring into the unknown as well. But there's a little element of fear here, but there's also excitement, you know. He's sort of like, right, okay, he knows he is on the precipice of something, and he is ready to step off that cliff. You know, so he's ready to step off this cliff, the Fool. And like I say, the number is 0, so this is wiping the slate clean and starting again. So when the Fool makes a decision to step off this cliff, you know, before he's even jumped, he's decided, you know, so that's it. He has decided. He's clear in what he's saying here. And the Fool is here, and he's like ready to, he's ready to leave like the old ways behind, you know, and he's ready to embrace the possibilities of the new, you know. Now, what is interesting within this as well is if we have a look, there's like a cord, and this cord is coming from his heart. And if we follow the cord round, the cord is attached to a dove. Now, you know, doves within tarot, within totem animals or whatever, they're all like sort of indication of peace. They're all indication of love, you know, and they're all indication of spirit as well. So what this cord is saying, I mean, if we have a look, it's wrapped right round. It's sort of like an umbilical cord in the way. And this is sort of the cord that is attaching us to spirit. So what spirit are saying here is, you are okay. We've got you, you know. So this is like I say, this is the Fool is, this jumping off the cliff is not, he is not jumping into an abyss. You know, spirit are there, and spirit have your back. So there's a real safeness here. And, you know, what we look, I mean, he's 2 feet already off there. There's an alligator there, and this signifies, it's an old fable about the alligator keeping you safe. Sorry, I can't remember the exact I can't remember the exact fable. If I do remember it, I will post it one day. But this is saying that there's a safety there as well with the alligator. And if we have a look, we've got a lot of the different elements in here as well. You know, there's the fire, which is the passion. There's the crystals there, which are the clarity as well. You know, there's the grapes there. This is sort of like the fruits of labor, you know, and the coins there. So this is material security as well, you know. So with this card, it's saying like the only way for you to gain anything, or, you know, or to get what you want, is to take this risk. And this is what the Fool is prepared to do. Now, within this card as well, we can see there's a butterfly. And as I've said, this is about transformation. You know, the butterfly ceases to be what it once was, but it doesn't mourn its change. It relishes in its new found freedom, and it relishes in its new life, you know. The only thing within this card which we don't have in traditional tarot, I mean, if you remember, we have a little white dog normally in normal tarot, and that's like at the ankles, and it's urging the fool to jump off this cliff. What we have here, we have a tiger, right? And this tiger is biting at this fool's leg. And what it's trying to do is keep him on the cliff, you know, because a lot of times, as I've mentioned before, when the fool decides to embark on this new journey, there's a lot of people will see him as foolish. Now, this is evident within the 5 of coins, which we had earlier, you know, but the fool is taking a risk. And those that may not support or understand this risk, it may be because of the fear they have in themselves, because they wouldn't actually, you know, have the guts or the balls to do that, if that makes sense. But what the fool knows here is, if he doesn't jump off this cliff, you know, he will always be wondering, like, what if, you know, and that to him is a bigger risk in itself, you know. So it's a fabulous, the fool in that one is fabulous, you know. So that is Thursday's card. And then we get on to Friday. And Friday, this is where it's a toughie. Friday is right, okay, this is where every single test that you've been through, this is where you are going to have to sort of like show up, and you are going to have to walk your talk here, because the 7 of swords here, it's futility, you know, and I don't like this card at all. This card to me looks icy cold, and I don't like it. The feeling I get with it, I really, really don't like it. And this talks about self-doubt. It talks about being overwhelmed and having a little bit of a panic freak out moment, you know. There's a lot of distractions with this. And what I want to say, because it's like people are, you know, there could be all these different distraction techniques going on to keep you from your truth here. What I always say is, you know, there's a great saying, and it's when the right hand is waving, always look at what the left hand is doing. So somebody could be trying to distract you here while they're doing something shifty here, you know. So there's an element of deceit, an element of cunningness around this as well. Now, the sword in the middle, this is your sword, and this is the sword of truth, but it is being opposed by all of these other swords. And if we have a look, it is causing little chinks out of this sword. So there is little chips being took away at your truth here. So when you are being attacked, you may actually start to doubt yourself here, and you may start to doubt your truth, you know. But what you need to remember is your truth is all that you have, you know. This is a time on Friday, please trust in your intuition rather than your head, because, you know, once your head, you know, gets into this crazy space, this could do a lot of damage, you know. So really, really be careful. And it's like others may be trying to break your will, if you want, and it's when we don't feel empowered, our personal power is being taken away in some way, and this is when we risk losing our spirit. And when we've lost our spirit, you know, or even just our connection to spirit, then what is it you have? You know, once you lose that connection, that's, you know, it's game over. When we look at the 7 of Swords within traditional tarot, what it says is that somebody is stealing some from us. Now, within this, I don't think it's stealing as in such taking our material stuff, but it's like somebody's trying to take what is ours, and that could be our truth and our belief in our own truth, but they're doing it in quite a cunning, deceitful way. Like I say, I mentioned, you know, when the right hand's waving, watch what the left hand's doing, you know. So what you need to remember on Friday is that Spirit loves you unconditionally. Spirit wants to empower you, right? And it doesn't want to compromise you, you know. And living in anything less than your truth means that you are existing, you aren't living. living, you know. And if you decide to do this, and if you decide, all right, okay, my truth's not important, and I'll just, you know, it's not worth the hassle, and just sort of settle into stuff, this means you are settling. And when you are settling, this always leaves you unsettled. You know, so the compromises that you could be being asked to do here, they are going to be working more for other people rather than for yourself. So you really need to be aware of this. I mean, I've mentioned this before. The last text message I got off my mother before she was killed was the night before. She sent me a text message and she said, "Tanya, never settle." And that has stayed with me, you know, and I never ever have, you know. And don't get me wrong, there's times when it would have been so much easier to settle. It would have been so much easier to settle, but I knew that in settling, I was robbing myself of so much, and that is something I cannot do. You know, I'm pretty much an all or nothing type of girl, and if I am settling, I cannot look myself in the face, you know, and that is something I've got to do, you know. So settling is never good for anything. So like I say, Monday to Friday, you're going to be pulled from all areas here, you know. But like I say, just it's only this last week, you know. You've been through, if you think what you've been through, you know, the last sort of 6 weeks or whatever, this is nothing. You can get through that, but you just need to sort of keep yourself straight. So then we get to Saturday, and this is where things start to lighten up, and this is where it gets all nice again. Because the card that we have, I mean, what I want to say here, just quickly, sorry, before I say the card we have here is the Ace of Cups. But if we look at those two cards, can you see the difference in the colours there? You know, we've got the icy Seven of Swords here, and then we've got this wonderful, colourful, warm Ace of Cups here. And it's sort of, when I look at this card, it's like one of them optical illusions. It actually seems to be moving, and I don't know if you can see all of that there, but this is Ace of Cups is like, this is talking about way deep into our soul. And we know that the Ace of Cups is all about love, and it's about overflowing love. But within this deck as well, it talks about beauty as well. It talks about beauty, it talks about trust, and it talks about all sources of love, you know. And it's sort of, there's new love with this as well, and there's things growing as well. So this is a time for really connecting, you know, becoming vulnerable as well, and also receiving. So it's like, this is a time of, when I'm saying vulnerable, I don't mean vulnerable so that these, you know, the what's happened in that past week has left you vulnerable where you are weak, but this is being ready to receive the gifts that you are being given. So what this is saying is, this is allowing yourself to feel these flowing emotions. Yes, you might have a lot of opposition, you know, but once you allow yourself to feel the flow of this, you know, it is such a wonderful feeling. I mean, I really wish you could get the energy of this card here. So it's saying, like, Spirit is giving us this amazing gift of love, and it's not conditional love, you know. It is, this cup, this sort of chalice is overflowing with unconditional love. There's no conditions with it, and there's so much potential with this. And it's sort of like, we've talked about this before, this is like the Holy Grail, you know. This is what everybody really deep down is searching for. And this card also says that it's a symbol of life. It's creation. It's creating this new life, and this life is built on sort of on love, on trust, on beauty. And there's a lot of water comes in with this card as well. And what the water is saying with this is, like, water is what sustains us. Without water, we cannot survive. And this is saying that in the same way, without love, our soul cannot survive neither. So there's a real intense exchange of energy here. Very energetic card. And this is, you know, it's allowing us to actually feel on a deep level, you know. And it's this is a union which is truth, it's heartfelt, it's passionate. And, you know, if we have a look, there's like you know, the colours of this, I mean, we've got the red there, that's the passionate, you know. We've got the blues, which is our throat chakra. We've got the greens, which is our heart chakra. But there's a lot of white around this. And this is showing, you know, like sort of that spirit are there with this. So like I say, you know, I don't know what it is that you are fighting for, but I feel that there's a fight of opposition. But it's like when you are standing in your own power, in your own truth, and coming from a place of love and going after what you love as well, you know. And this could be anything. This could be a person, this could be a career, this could be, you know, following your dream, whatever. Once you actually like sort of get through Monday to Friday next week, this is when, you know, the energy is just starting pulsing through you, you know, and there's so many blessings coming through with that card. So that is that Saturday? Yeah. So then we have Sunday, which again, you know, it's the weekend. That's what you want to look for the weekend. We have here the Ace of Wands, you know, and the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands coming in together. This is like, there's a huge fulfillment coming. So there's so much energy in this card. I mean, these two cards are just literally, it's like, you know, I want to drop them. It's like drop them while they're hot, you know, they are really, really high energy cards. And this is talking about, it's new ideas, it's changes, it's having that spark, that spark ignited that is compelling you, you know, to make this like this radical shift. And it's making you understand things as well, you know, rather than just think things. Because with this card, it's not just having ideas, it's feeling them, it's feeling it coursing through your veins, you know, because this card is so full of passion, it's full of energy, and it's like a life force has took over you, you know, and you know, the fire in your belly is roaring. And this card as well, what I want to say with this card is this could actually happen like bang. As soon as Sunday starts, it's like, right, that could happen. Because this card is always talking about the now. It comes in very, very quickly. But what I'm getting with this and what Spirit are saying, it's like you getting a feeling of, right, I can do this. You know, I can do this. Like, bring it on, you know. So why I'm saying as well that this card is like, right, okay, it's about now, is that this card is also depicted to autumn, you know, and you know, we're in October. This is the thing, you know, it's October now, you know, when this card is coming up. So it's the beginning of action, and it's like, this card is like I say, there's a lot of flames in it. There's fire. There's, you know, this is great. And you've got the injections of green, which is the heartfelt energy. You've got the passion behind it. You know, there's so much coming in this card. And this is definitely the start of something. But what this is also the start of is you getting your mojo back. It's like you are being plugged into the mains here and like, bam, right, okay, I'm firing on all cylinders here. So, you know, there's a lot of passion coming through this, you know, and it's like feeling the universal energy. There's an enlightenment. There's a feeling strong. There's a masculine strength. I'm sort of getting like a Hercules here, you know, like, right, okay, I'm ready for anything. And this is the card of new creation as well. So absolutely, by the time we get to the weekend, like I say, it's going to be a tough week, but by the time you get to the weekend, don't worry, because, you know, I feel like it doesn't matter who could come at you by the weekend, you know, with you having all of this passion, this vitality, this strength, this, you know, everything going in your favor, you know, I don't even think anybody will come near you, you know, because it's like, that is a battle that I'm not going to win, you know, it's like sort of taking on He-Man or something. And then that was the cards Monday to Sunday, but a card fell out as well, when I was putting the deck down, which I thought I would read it. And this is the Six of Wands here, you know, and this shows that, like, all the past troubles and disruptions have been necessary in a way for us to grow and for us to develop. But this is victory, you know. It's like, yes, we have won without fighting, if that makes sense. So it's like, you know, there is nothing... You haven't won by luck. You haven't got to this place of victory here by just lucky chance or whatever. This is because you have actually you have been to battle without actually battling, and this is so well deserved. So it's like your prize you are getting awarded after it from the universe is like happiness, that is for your victory. And this is when like your passions and your energy are aligned. When I said that Gandhi like mentions that when everything is aligned, this is when we get harmony, and this is what's coming in. And I really feel this is connected with the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and being in total alignment. It's like your truth has been tested, and it's like, are you still prepared to stand in that? And this week you have proved that you are. So all of these challenges that have been like sort of pointed at you, these guns that have been fired, these whatever, you have withstood them, and there's a stability, in your faith and your beliefs. And this is actually going to make you believe in yourself more as well, because it would have been so much easier for you to back down, but you are standing there and you are standing proud. And there's a real illumination coming. So it's like, this is triumph after any strife that you've had. And what comes after that is satisfaction and contentment. And what you can get with this is that your time of struggle is at an end, and you can stand tall and be so proud of yourself. It's like, really, please give yourself a pat on the back. Go and buy yourself a pint, buy yourself a bottle of wine or something, because I really feel after this week you're going to need it. But have so much faith in yourself, because the effort that you have put in here, this is what has assured your victory. So like I say, funny cards. So just to end it, what I actually done was I pulled an Osho card, because we always love Osho, and like I say, I'm missing Osho a bit because I haven't been doing the readings properly. And I wasn't surprised. I was pleased. I was pleasantly pleased when this Osho card came out. And what we had was Source, okay? So this just says it all, this card. So, I mean, this card talks about pure energy, and how powerful it is. And it talks about that when you are connected, that it's the most amazing feeling ever. It's like I say, it's like you're plugging into Source and you're being fully recharged with electric power. It's like this electricity is coursing through your veins. You're invincible. You're ready to go after what you want, and there's no stopping you. But there's this really amazing feeling coming with it. And it's like when we are plugged into Source and when we are connected, it's like we seem to know the answers. And like, even if we don't know the answers, it doesn't matter, because you're at one, and that is the thing that matters. And if we look at the colours in this card, there's the reds, which are the root chakra. So this is our stability and feeling secure, and feeling grounded. And we are connected to Mother Earth here. We are connected in that way. There's also the orange, and this is our sacral chakra, and this is where like our passion comes from, both sexually and creatively as well. And this is our self-worth and our emotions. So this is like all of your bottom chakras are just all working in unison here. Your yellow here, this is your solar plexus, and this is your personal power and our self-esteem, our assertiveness, and this is telling us that all of these centers are open, and when they are blocked, we experience like a lack of self-love, with self-doubt, like not feeling powerful, there's fear, but when they are all open like these are, and like I say, with what you've gone through and you've stood in your truth against the final opposition, really, I feel like, when you look on video games, and there's a boss at after every level, there's like a boss you've got to tackle. These sort of old fighting video games, and this is like you're nearing the end of the game. You're going to hear that little ding at the end of it where you've got through it all. So, like I say, this card, it's just pure energy, and it's. This energy is always pulsating. I mean, if we have a look at it there, it is always pulsating. It's a beautiful card, and it's always available as well. So whenever we need to plug into this, all we need to do is connect, and that's it. This is when we will get our strength, and this is when we can accomplish anything that we set our mind to. And when we are done as well, when we have done this, the source is always ready to welcome us back home, you know, when we want to rest as well. So what this card is saying is call on this power, know that you are connected to a higher source, you know that your soul is leading you and that everything is happening as it should be, you know, and this is, you know, it's like this card tells us how powerful we really are, you know. And when Osho talks about this card, he says that, you know, Zen tells you to come out of your head and go to the basic source, you know. And this is when we are in source, you know, and when we are connected to source, this is when this like amazing force just suddenly appears, you know, and we get a transformation of energy, and this energy is sort of transmuted into light and love. And you know, you hear a lot of spiritual people say love and light, and this is what it is, you know, when you are plugged in. And this leads to sort of a greater life. It turns into compassion, and it's creativity, you know. It can take so many forms, this energy, but you know, you have to learn to be at source, and then source will tell you where your potential is, you know. That's what it'll do, you know. Spirit will let you know. So when you can relax at source, you know, this will take you to your true life purpose as well. So it's such a wonderful, wonderful card. Now, I'm so pleased that this one came in, because, like I say, your faith is going to be tested with these cards next week. You know, it is. This is going to be, can you withstand it? You know, are you strong enough? You know, are you strong enough to do this? I believe with these cards, yes, you know, I totally believe. But what you need to do is keep connected. You know, like I say, that when our vibration is down, or when it is being tried to pull down, it is very hard to stay in the vortex and stay connected. But if you can manage that for the first 5 days of next week, you're home free, you know. So, like I say, very powerful reading, I feel, there today and for this week. But it's, you know, this is it. This is what, you know, this is the final bit of the energy of the eclipses. And then we're getting into this nice relaxing phase where everything sort of flows a lot better. So I hope you like them cards. Please let me know what you think of them. If anybody would like a reading, which you may do this week, because like I say, I think it's going to be a bit of a toughie, you know, but don't worry about it. You will get through it. I have every faith in you, you know, so you will. But if anybody would like a reading, I'm taking readings from Wednesday onwards. So Monday, Tuesday, I'm not available, but from Wednesday onwards, I do have readings. So please get in touch either via my Facebook or via my website. I do phone, I do Skype. I do email readings as well. I'm working on a few different readings. I've been doing quite a few past life readings for people I know, and they've been coming really good. So I think I may be adding them to my website. So we're changing seasons, and I really feel the way that this is working is changing as well. You know, I think Spirit forced my hand to make these weeklies. I will be doing dailies as well. So there's a big shift within the Love Buddha workings as well, you know, but I feel it's all moving in the right way. So please let me know. But have an absolutely fabulous week. Hang in there, and you can do it. That's it. Spirit have just said you can do it, and they're there with you. You know, they're there supporting you. So please don't worry. It is the last little bit. It's the final hurdle. This is it. The final hurdle. Your end is in sight. You can see the finish line now. You know, and if you think how far you've come, it's been a pretty grueling race, you know, but the end is in sight now. And like I say, I can sort of see all the ticker tape and all the fireworks going off and everything. So please just hang in there. So have a fabulous week, and I'll be back with maybe the cards of the day, or I'll be back with the weekly reading. Okay, Sat Nam.